we've always liked to embrace the latest technology and always looked at the business, and we've always surrounded ourselves by forward-thinking individuals. So whilst the business has evolved over the years, we've always been very, very conscious to look at where the bottlenecks and the pinch points lie within the business, and to see how we could potentially automate that process and just speed things up, really, just to make it a lot more efficient. And that's something we've always done to this day. Now, that's whether it's from a software perspective or from a hardware perspective, there's something we've always looked at as a business. And that's one of the things that really made us choose both XMPie and Optimus, because obviously it is an investment and you've always got to look whether it's financially viable and it will work for your business. So the reason why we put the XMPie in the first instance is because we actually lost a very large client of ours because they insisted on going down the Web2Print route. Now, at the time, we didn't have anything in place, and one of our competitors who had the XMPie in place at the time won the tender over us for that exact reason. So rather than just go away and kind of lick our wounds, we saw that as an opportunity. Well, look, if we want to compete in this space, and this is going to be our battleground, then we need to now embrace this software. In terms of the integration and the two packages talking to each other, that was absolutely seamless. I guess from our point of view, it was just more so educating the staff and changing their skill set, and really just getting them to buy into the fact that yes, we've got this new software in place, just please embrace it. And they saw within the first week of using these software packages, you know, the benefit it brought to us as a business and to them as an individual. But what was great about Optimus is that it is very scalable. So since we put it in, obviously we put the XMPie link in, and the Optimus has really alleviated all of our pressure points and pinch points within the business. So from its infancy, when we first put it in, it was put in to help us with the volume of orders coming in from XMPie, as well as all of our other ad hoc orders that were coming in offline as well. But then the issue I was having from there is then invoicing that. So that would just be, so my invoicing would take me probably a week every single month, just having to re-key information from my Optimus into my accounts package. And when I had a word with the guys at Optimus, I said, well, look, we've got a link for that. You know, what accounts package are you using? I spoke to them, and it was set up literally within a day or so, and it just works seamlessly now. And again, much like the job docket, it's become a tick box exercise. When the job is complete, I hit a button, it releases it to my accounts package, the invoice gets fired off to the customer. So, I mean, in terms of just booking certain jobs in, before, I mean, we used to, everything was done manually. Like I say, the only two people responsible for the quoting, or who were able to do the quoting, was myself and one of my colleagues. So if any order or inquiry ever came through via telephone or email, that would then find its way to our inbox, and it might have taken us a day to get back to that client, which number one isn't very professional, and it just increased our workload as well. So in terms of productivity, I would say it probably more than doubled from our perspective. It enabled us to take more jobs on in-house and just be much more efficient and productive.
I think one of the things that we're hugely respectful of in the industry is when you are on the verge of making an investment as an SME and you're thinking about your return on investment when it comes to equipment on the factory floor. In some regards, we understand it's easier to measure that. With software, I think it's a little bit more hidden, and what I like about Jay's approach is that he wanted to understand the efficiency. So he was looking at, well, how much time can I save? How many minutes a day? But not just thinking that's a few minutes, actually adding up all of those numbers over a week, a month, a year, with an estimate raised, a job bag raised, an invoice raised, to just take 3 key examples. Put a wage rate against all of those and start doing the maths. You'll have a return on investment. All I would say is to anyone who's thinking of making that investment, we take it seriously. We want to know what success looks like, and we can measure that from the start. We can start thinking about that. So when you're sat there thinking 6 months on, okay, how has this worked out for me? With the right mindset and the right collaboration and the right partnerships in place, you can do all of that, and then you're ahead of the game.
12 months is absolutely a realistic time to return on investment for the software. I mean, if you've already got the clients in place for XMPie, for example, and even an Optimus, if you do have these pinch points in your business, if you've got these bottlenecks, then you will pay, the return on investment, you'll get it back. The services that we're able to offer, the businesses that I'm able to run with our sort of production and our creative agency, we can only do that because of the systems that we've embraced over the years. And without it, I don't think the business would have survived over the years, frankly. It's given us as a small business the kind of power to kind of play with the big boys, if you like. It's a scary thought, having to learn a new skill set and change what you've been doing all these years. But once you've done it, you will never look back. And it's not just coming from me, who's the owner of the business, but I'm sure all of my staff will say exactly the same thing.
I deal a lot with quotations, through to invoicing, through to production, also hands-on with printing sometimes as well. And getting involved with jobs, so my time is spread between a lot of different roles. So I think not having that software would be almost impossible to complete all of those roles in any given period of time, because the software can integrate those roles right through to quotations with the customers, right through to changes in quotations after the job's been implemented, booking in the job, getting the job on the press, handing over the job to finishers. So I would say it's given us an overall productivity increase of around 70% in regards to pre-software to where we are now, because it's just, we've been using it for such a long time that it's hard to remember what life was like before the software. It's chalk and cheese, it's massive.
Thirst Creative is a classic example of a very progressive, very agile business that actually looks outside the box, is wanting to actually be creative about what they offer and how they go to market. And that works really well with the configuration, the customization that is available with XMPie StoreFlow. I think it's great to see a small, medium-sized business that has not just been successful, but been successful very quickly by taking both XMPie software, but also integrating and taking the Optimus software as a combined integrated solution. So as somebody is changing parameters on a product they're about to order, they can see live pricing from Optimus Dash. When the order is actually placed, it's injected into Optimus Dash. So by taking both XMPie software, but also integrating and taking the Optimus software as a combined integrated solution, to be able to not just go out and win business that wasn't there before, but to also expand and to go become really a global offering, and to win and pick up business that actually is available outside of the UK as well.
I mean, both with XMPie and Optimus, we couldn't imagine our business without it. So let's think of a simple business card. So we've got many large customers with hundreds of staff worldwide. Now, what would happen with a normal business card? Someone would, they'll onboard a new employee, or someone's job title or role may have changed within the organisation, and then they would maybe speak to the office manager. That office manager will then populate an Excel file that will come into our studio. They'll then have to do the artwork, send it back for approval, and this could go backwards and forwards if something was missed out. So straight away, with having something like XMPie in place, they can go straight onto their portal, they can populate that card themselves. Obviously, there's a mandatory field where they have to have the proof approved, so there's a proof approval section on there. Once they're happy with that, they can pick a quantity, delivery address, hit a button. So before that job has even come into us, and I'm even aware that this job is going to happen, I'll just get an email to say, hey, we've got a new order. Now this could apply to many things. Once that order's come into us, we just click a button, that automatically posts itself into our Optimus. So straight away, without even thinking about it, this order's come in with no intervention from our studio, no toing and froing, gone straight into my Optimus system where a job docket is being generated. That job docket in turn goes into production. The job is done, dispatched, and the Optimus will do my delivery note, and then once I'm done, I'll hit one button and it releases it to my accounts. So in terms of how has it changed what we do, I mean, it's revolutionised what we do. From a time perspective, I mean, we did a calculation. Per annum, we're booking in a minimum of 2,000 jobs, and they can vary. Now, them jobs, we estimated that putting it through Optimus, just using Optimus to book in that job, generate your quote, etc., is saving us a minimum of 5 to 10 minutes. Now, if we base that on 5 minutes, which is being very conservative, that actually equates to 21 days a year saving, just purely on estimating and admin. This obviously streamlines what we do, and it frees us up as individuals to just be able to spend more time with our clients and look after their needs, as opposed to, like you say, just sitting there and sifting through, mountains and mountains of sort of invoices and dockets, and things do get lost. And I'll be honest, we sit there now I've had the XMPie and Optimus in place for so many years, I worry now how many jobs actually went uninvoiced before, and how many jobs that maybe we didn't capture or we didn't convert, etc. So really having these things in place has really been belt and braces for us. It's there. Once the job comes in through XMPie or we book the job into Optimus, it's there. So regardless of where we are, and particularly now with people working remotely, it's wonderful. I can just log in from wherever I am and I can see what's there, I can release invoices, and it's just saved so much time. A larger company might have the luxury of having an estimating team in place. For an SME like us, that estimating team really is going to be senior management or one of the owners. So what would happen is an inquiry would come through, you'd have to stop what you're doing, whoever's answered the phone, obviously manually put that quotation together. That might consist of phoning the paper merchant to get a price if it's a large job, phoning the finisher if it's something that we're going to outsource. All of a sudden, having something like Optimus in means that whoever takes that call can actually put that quote through in real time and just quote the customer there and then. And the beauty of that is, it's not just generating that quote in the first instance, it's if that job goes live, then we can just hit literally one button, it's a tick box exercise, and that generates a job docket for our guys in the factory. So it's just a wonderful, fully automated process. I mean, there was a lot of jobs that we used to work on before we had the Optimus in place that I could look at and straight away I can see we were losing money on. And that's what Optimus gives you, The best compliment I can give to Optimus, it's not just any old MIS system, it's like having another sort of reporting team that works alongside you. So at any point, regardless of where I am in the world, I can just log in, I can see exactly where we're at. But more so, I can look in from terms of stock levels. It's enabled us to keep an eye on that with the requisitions and inventories. So we don't need to keep as much stock on the shelf, so that saves a lot of money. But also from a productivity level as well, there's a lot of jobs that we'll do, and Optimus will flag my profit margin straight away. So I can look at things, and there was a lot of times before where we were, I hate to use the word busy fools, where we weren't making money. So it helps us as a business now address certain jobs that we work on to ensure that our profit margins are where we are, to make sure we're as profitable as possible. And in terms of stress, well, absolutely, I'm a lot calmer as a result.
What I love about Thirst Creative is they had the ambition and the foresight to be one of the first in the industry when this integration was really bedding in, to go, we can do that, because he'd already established within the market, hold on, the landscape's changing. In order to actually go to the next level, we need this software and these tools in place. Where there's some really good symmetry between Optimus and XMPie is we've both got global customer bases. And as Phil alluded to, it's a scalable product, the XMPie suite of products and services built from the ground up. And the philosophy and the ethos and the mentality of the team at XMPie really resonated with the team at Optimus. We've always had business owners who've been happy about the process, the cooperation, and ultimately, again, what's been delivered, so that they can see that automation and efficiency really taking things on to a next level, because you get benefits in isolation from an investment in one. But as Jay referenced earlier, he had a fantastic user experience he could deliver to his customers. He could get all of these orders coming into the business. How was he then going to manage and administer them? And so, with a well-trodden partnership, you can blend those two things together. So we've built up tremendous trust. They've got our back, we've got theirs. We work very closely together on our mutual clients. We recognise that when people had a user experience and said, I don't want to fill that in because that's not relevant to me, you needed to put a more tightly knit value proposition together where you could concertina your processes together, which really speaks to lean. In a lean factory, you organise your factory in the most efficient way. Well, why not, again, in your front office, anything that you have to do that is of no value, get rid of it. We were aware there's a price to be paid if you're asking someone to click and do something that actually isn't relevant. Those days are gone. And then it can map to really good products like XMPie and hopefully then gives the customer a really good user experience. They don't realise they're creating a full production job by just a few clicks when they're booking in the order, because that's effectively what they're doing. With that clear direction of travel, driven by someone like Jay heading up First Creative, you can travel with them really well. And it's an exciting journey to see how they've grown and how they've diversified, and we've been able to help them on that journey.
An SME like us, you know, we've made that leap of faith, if you like, and we've embraced it, and it's totally revolutionised our business. And not only has it revolutionised it, I think it's kind of held us in good stead. It's kept us very sort of progressive and on the cutting edge of technology. And the stress that it's, you know, alleviated has been, you know, monumental. And it just, you know, I couldn't imagine running our business without this software. And I feel very, very comfortable that we're in a great place with both XMPie and Optimus, that we can scale the business up and move our business in that direction with nothing to hold us back. And the beauty of that is I know that both XMPie and Optimus will hold us in good stead to look after the customers and be able to fulfill all of that work moving forward. So there's no need to start looking around for third-party software.